what does it look to you? What does it look to you? I want you to engage me. I want you to contribute. First and foremost, what is a career? Robert, I can see you. You cannot dodge. Robert, you have got to contribute. Robert, my good friend, Robert Sakayo, you have to contribute. What is a career? So, John, you can help me, or Sheila, you can help me in reading what the contributions are on the charts. What is a career? Jason Nakongo, my good friend, good to see you around. Noah, Njama, Regina, Wanyeki, Bridget. What is a career? What is a career? We are not going to move forward if there are no contributions. One of the most important things in career excellence and career development is making sure that you participate, that you have branded yourself. This is your opportunity to shine, so to speak. So since I cannot see you, I can only encourage you to contribute in the chat. What is a career? You are allowed to research and Google your ChatGPT. A professional pathway that earns income, that is TED. Well, Sheila, you can read, or Joan, you can read those contributions. What is a career?
There is one on the chart. So Ted is saying a career is a professional path that earns income. There is Noah. He says it's anything that someone engages in his or her life.
Yeah, and what you should note is there's a difference between a job and a career. A career is long-term, where you have acquired several competencies, several skills, several attitudes. So there's a difference between a job and a career. Then once you have acquired these skills, once you have acquired these attributes, once you have acquired these things that help you do something so that you can get paid, in life, that transition has to come. There comes a time when you feel like you should change what you are doing. You should completely transition what you are doing and do something else, either in a different place or a different career. So what are the symptoms that you've felt in where you're working? What are these symptoms that are forcing you to transition from a particular place or from a particular area or your ecosystem to a different thing, so that you can transition? What are some of these signs? Toxic work environment, that is by Jason Akonga. Toxic work environment, when there's a lot of poisonous elements in the workplace, this definitely forces you to start re-evaluating and assessing why you should move. That is one. Let us write. What are these signs that one will force you to start transitioning from where you are to an stagnation? That is Jason Akonga. He's saying that when you start stagnating, you're mark timing, you're in the same place, year in, year out, seeking growth. You feel like some information comes to you from wherever it comes from and tells you that indeed you should start think of growth. The space has become small for you. You should move. Yes, I can see John Mwangi has said toxic workplace, and these days one of the frequent conversations that comes to platforms like this is toxic work environment. Probably some of us should be able to tell us what it means. Yes, I want several reasons. What are some of these? Routine by Irene. When you start seeing that you can easily work or you can easily do your job without thinking, so to speak, you can easily do that bit without so much intellectual input, because you have gotten used to doing this thing until such a time you do it like a robot, like you are a conveyor belt. Even if you give it to a conveyor belt, it will do that job for you. When that thing is routine, you're doing the same thing every other time. So it is not challenging. that thing that you are doing, that thing you are calling career is not challenging. Yes, routine. What is the other thing? John, is there another contribution? Yes, lack of facilitation or bare minimum, that is internet, when you are not being given resources for you to be able to work. I can see when communication is hindered, when communication is limited within the organization. Remember, organizations function well when there is adequate communication, and when there is zero communication or limited communication, this will have to force you to start re-examining or reassessing where you are in terms of your career. We have to list so many signs because these are the trigger points. You must have triggers for you to start thinking of career transition. Having acquired new skills. Yes, when you acquire new skills, for example, if you go to a seminar, you go to a short course and learn, for example, artificial intelligence or emotional quotient, or you learn data analytics, this will start triggering you. Yes, I have learned new skills. Why should I stay here where I'm not going to apply them? Then you start thinking of how you should move from where you are, or the place you are, or the career you are in, to another place or to another ecosystem. Yes, let us list those because those are very important. You have to start repositioning. You start feeling that you should reposition yourself. You should put yourself very strategic because the world is very competitive. If you don't reposition yourself, you will be forgotten or you will not grow. So the desire for you to reposition yourself, to reevaluate, to re-examine, to relook, to audit where you are, there are certain symptoms that come into play. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that yes, you may be rewarded for loyalty, but you cannot be rewarded for a long time unless you decide to be very strategic. Yes, stability for your career is important, but it is important for you to be very strategic. Careers won't grow because you are loyal, ladies and gentlemen. You have to grow because you are intentional. You have to be deliberate. You have to attend some of these talks that we are in. You have to network. When you see a program where people are going to network, you have to deliberately say, this is for my career, let me go there and learn. Because it has been said, the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who lack the skills of writing and reading. It is those who are unable to unlearn, relearn, and learn. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for you to be disciplined, to be intentional, to be deliberate about your career transition. And we have ably and intelligently mentioned some of the diseases that, no, the signs that you need to check that indeed you need to transition, you need to change. And some of those that have been listed are some of those things that we experience. I have seen somebody who has been probably a financial person, and then they realize, no, I think I should have been in law or doing something. For example, I can give you an example. Dunstan Omari. Dunstan Omari was a teacher. But these days, what does he do? He does law. The Citizen broadcaster, that gentleman, what is his name? Let me see if the people are checking things that are important. There's a gentleman who is a broadcaster. He does broadcasting in Swahili. He recently graduated as a lawyer. Who knows him? Who knows him? Who knows him? Let me see if you people are following news for a good reason. Who knows that person? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. If you get it, Linus or Linus Kaikai. He has been a broadcaster for the entire life that he has been alive. But recently, I think last year, he graduated from being a broadcaster to law. So there are reasons. Maybe he has gotten tired of doing broadcasting or journalism, and he has now entered into law. So there are several things, and you can attribute it to what you, ladies and gentlemen, have been able to put down. There is a certain discomfort that comes to you, and this forces you to do what? To start rethinking of how you should change. Career transition is merely saying that you want to change because of the signs that we have been able to list down. There is a misalignment. You are misaligned, maybe professionally or organizationally. You are not aligned to what the organization is doing or to what the career is doing to you. There is something we call skills redundancy. What is skills redundancy? Let me see who is going to respond to the correct definition of skills. When we say that you have reached a state of skills redundancy, what does it mean? Joanne, what does it mean? Njama, Noah Kohet, what does it mean? Regina, Jason, what does it mean when we say you have reached a state of skills redundancy? What does it mean? What does it mean? Let us contribute. I am not going to have a monologue. Let us completely get involved in the discussion. What does it mean when we say that this is a state of skills redundancy? What is redundancy? Skills that cannot be used anymore. When the skills that you've been using cannot be used, skills you are no longer required. Correct? Thank you very much. These are skills that you are not using anymore. You acquired them, you have been using them, but when you look at what you are doing, you can no longer use, and there are many. There are many when you count them. When you do a skills analysis, you will discover that some skills have become redundant. That is when you start getting triggered. Let me now acquire new skills so that I can grow. Sometimes one of the signs of the need for career transition is compensation. Imagine if you've been rewarded 40,000 for the last 5 or 6 or 10 years. You should start reevaluating where you should be. Thank you very much, Joanne. It is a situation whereby you have outdated skills that you can no longer use. So compensation is one of the other things that triggers career transition. Ladies and gentlemen, when you want to discover that you want to do career transition, you have to list down the signs and symptoms of the need for career transition. That is where you, just like when you go to a hospital, the doctor or the nurse tells you, what are you feeling? What are the signs of your discomfort? What are the signs? Once you list those signs, then it is easier for you to move to the area of medication. So how should you do this? What you should do, you should look at your strengths. What are your strengths? Strengths are those things that you are excellent in. You should do an audit. Once you have listed those symptoms, those signs, those giveaways of the need for career transition, you should do a strength analysis. You get me, Joan? You get me, Njama? You get me, Noah? You have to check, what are my key or core competencies? I am good in communication. I am good in data analytics. I am good in emotional intelligence. The things that you can do. So you list them, because we are paid, me and you are rewarded or compensated because of the competencies that we have. So you have to analyze, what competencies do I have that I can get paid for? The other thing that you need to do is to check your value system. There are organizations, Joan, there are organizations, Sheila, that you can go, they are not aligned to your values. Should you continue working in a place where your value system are not aligned to you? No, then do a value analysis, do a value system analysis. Actually, in interviews, and I am sure Joan, Sheila, Jay has trained you that when you go for interviews, see, the interviewers will ask you, what are your value system? That is why organizations have their core values. So if you are in a place where their values and your values are like water and oil, that is a thing that will inform your need or your desire to do career transition. What else should you do? There's something called market demands. Market demands. What does it mean when we say market demands? Some people have obsolete skills. Some people have thoroughly unmarketable skills. You have been trained in a certain course that is totally, and you have paid fees for it, you have a coach for it, you have a mentor for it, but that space is not marketable. That should indeed force you to start asking yourself, the skills I have, are they market driven? You should have skills that are market driven. Then what should you do? You should start what is called strategic planning. Ask yourself, what are my leadership skills? And remember, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not necessarily a position. It is not the big seat that you occupy. No, it is a mindset. What is your mindset in terms of decision making, in terms of influencing people? Because leadership is influence, and we use communication in influencing people. Are we together? Are we together? I don't want to have a monologue. Are we together? Are we moving at the same pace? What have I said? What have I said? I have said that you need to look at your strengths, list your strengths, the ones somebody can remove money from the wallet and pay you. Then check, what are your value system? Are they in alignment with that organization that you want to work for, or the organization you're working for? Then lastly, what you need to look at are your attributes, are your skills, are your competencies driven by the market. Some people look for easy to do things, and in the process, they get frustrated. Yes, you have finished their course, but you chose a very easy and common thing to do. In the process, you find you are so many of you, and you'll get underpaid, and you will find a problem getting a job or a new job. I hope we are moving together, Sheila. I hope we are moving together. The other thing that you need to do is, when you are transitioning, there's something that I am going to call risk analysis. You have to do a risk analysis. What does this mean? Do not change a job. Do not transition to another place without doing a risk assessment. What does it mean? You have to have a financial buffer. You need to say that I need to save money that will make me survive for the next 6 months or for the next 1 year. If you want to transition, you need a financial what? A financial buffer that will assist you in the process of transitioning. You will have something to pay your bills. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not transition, even if you have a lot of good competencies, without a financial buffer. Also, what you need to do in risk assessment, you need to ask yourself, what is my reputation culture, reputational capital. There's something called reputational capital. What is your reputation in the industry like? Ask yourself, are you known by certain people in the industry? So do an analysis. The other thing that you need to do besides reputational capital analysis, which comes out of networking and other related things, you need to do an industry analysis. Some people dive into an industry that is dying. You want to transition into an industry that is dying, probably which is being taken over by artificial intelligence, and you want to shift there, that probably I want to do this job. Then a few months down the line, you discover that artificial intelligence has taken over that job. So you have got to do the analysis of that industry so that you can see, is it stable? Is it sustainable? That is important. And the other thing that you need to do in risk analysis is timing. We all know the essence of timing. You have to time when you should transition. You should not transition when probably we have inflation rate is very high, or when interest rates are very high. So timing is important. You have got to say, yes, I want to transition. I have seen the signs, but is the timing right? That is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Then now you need what I call the transition blueprint. The transition blueprint. You need to create clarity. You need to have clarity. You need to develop a clarity phase. Clarity phase is where you remove any ambiguity. The other day, I was advising another young lady who scored A's from top to bottom. And the illusion here sometimes is that when you have scored A's through and through, you should become a medic or you should become a lawyer. You have so many choices to make. But this is where you should sit down with your career advisor or career coach or career mentor to create clarity. Clarity is important so that you reduce ambiguity, so that you are not confused, so that you do not have a lot of choices. You should create clarity. You should say, I want to do this, so that you are not having a lot of choices. Yes, have choices, but when the rubber meets the road, you have to choose one thing. The other thing that you should do in the transition blueprint is visibility economy. How are you visible? How are you being seen? And this is related to branding. Are you known to Joan? Are you known to Koech? Are you known to Regina? Are you known to Jason and any other person? Are you being seen? It is an economy in itself. You have to force yourself, whether you are introverted, whether you are extroverted, you have to make sure that Robert Sakayo knows you because of the certain skills that they have, because of certain tactics they have learned over time. You have to create friendship. There are certain friendships that you have to say, I have to know Richard, because of so many reasons, because we will discover them as we move along this discussion in relation to networking. Some jobs are gotten out of networking. They are not put on newspapers. They are not put on radio. They are not put on LinkedIn. It is somebody who says, Joan or Sheila, do you have 10 CVs that I can look at? Why? It is because of networking. The other thing is, not only should you be seen, not only should you have clarity, you should engage. You should engage. Don't be silent. There are no benefits in being silent. Yes, I know silence is golden, but there are occasions where silence is a total disservice to you. You have to engage. On WhatsApp, answer questions. On your LinkedIn, write articles, tag some people that you have known in networking events. Engagement. You have to ask yourself, what is my percentage of engagement in various platforms? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to forget my conversation, opportunities move through conversations. Opportunities, write it down. Opportunities move through conversations. You have to be a good conversationalist so that you can tap into those new opportunities. The other thing that you need to do as you transition is something that I'm going to call leverage on mentorship and personal branding. How does this work? How do you leverage on mentorship and personal branding? You network, or the networking is capital. Some people think that their business or their careers are stagnant because they do not have money. No, it is because you lack networking capital. You take it for granted. I can assure you for free, some of those very elite schools, some of those elite schools, they are trained on how to maximize on networking. It is a skill that you need to have, just like communication. You have to invest in it. You have to have a coach in it. You have to have a mentor in it to train you on how to network. The other thing is mentorship intelligence. You need to have sponsors. You need to have mentors. You need to have advisors who advise you. The worst thing that you can do in career transitioning is lack of mentorship intelligence or lacking sponsors. What is a sponsor? Because that is the new concept of most people have not interacted with. A sponsor is somebody who will be able to mention your name, who will be able to defend you. They are different from mentors. They are different from coaches. In a meeting where promotions are being discussed, you should have somebody who should mention your name. And that is a product of good communication skills, of having the right competencies, of proper networking, of being professional, of being courteous, of continuous elevating or upskilling, reskilling, so that you can remain relevant to the space that you are in. The other thing, probably, Sheila and Joan, that you need to do in our next discussion is what is called personal branding. You should brand yourself. What is it that you are good in? If the name Bridget is mentioned, what comes to mind? Is it communication? Is it data analytics? Is it employee relations? Is it profit and loss accounting? Is it you should brand yourself as a product in the various platforms that you go. You are a brand. So the question to ask yourself, are you a mediocre brand or a high performance brand? And this is something that probably we need to discuss some other time on how to brand yourself. And branding comes out of networking, out of communication, out of using the platforms that are existing, that is leveraging on artificial intelligence, leveraging on social media. I always say that branding has no holiday. You have no holiday in personal branding. You have to do it because that is how you create the best version of yourself. That is how to continuously improve yourself. And you can use LinkedIn. You can become a thought leader in the spaces that you are in. Write articles, do panels, what Sheila and Joan and other people are doing on this discussion that we are having. Don't fear webinars. Take them enthusiastically. Let people see your flyer going round that you're going to talk about something.
Along the line.
All right? That is how to build your reputation. Reputation is important. Actually, the Bible says something. Reputation is more important than riches. Create your reputation. Have speaking engagements like this one. Seek, look, create speaking engagement where you create knowledge, or you disperse knowledge, or you disseminate knowledge. Do you need permission to create a webinar? No, you don't. What you need are skills. You don't need permission to create a webinar. You don't need permission to tell Sheila or Joan or Richard or Noah, can we do a webinar? Hata mtu mmoja akikuja, you do not, it is not about how many people have come. It is that you have been able to deliver a webinar and people have seen. The other day I was having a webinar. You write it on your LinkedIn and we talked about this and that, but you will build your brand by consistency. What is the other thing that you should do? Cross-industry advisory. Don't remain in your cocoon. Don't remain in your space alone. If you are in HR, go to marketing events. Go to where lawyers are doing things. Go to where accountants are talking so that you can be able to learn different skills. I don't know how many minutes I have, Sheila. I can see we have, it is 47 minutes and I was told to speak for 40 minutes. And as the Bible says, one word for a wise person is enough. I am sure you've picked one or two things that you are going to do deliberately, intentionally, with your coach, with your mentor, so that you can flourish, so that you can grow in the hour of need. Over to you, Sheila. Or Joan. Is it Joan or Sheila? Either way.
Wow. As I told you earlier, Richard just pours gems whenever he speaks. Yeah. I don't know what you have gotten out of tonight's engagement, but from all that he has spoken, I hope you have just picked something that you'll be running with it throughout this year. So thank you so much, Richard. And I think one thing I'm really that he's mentioned, and I'm really running with it through this year, is that your personal brand has no holiday. Yeah. So put yourself out there. So yeah. So thank you so much, Richard. We appreciate, and definitely we'll be having you again on personal brand. Or what do you guys think? Should we? Yes, definitely. We should have Richard again. So again, thank you so much, Richard. Is there any question? Any question from, you can just drop the question on the chat. Then Richard will be able to answer any questions that you have. Or you feel free. You can also just open, unmute, and ask your question.
As they think, Sheila, let me ask, what are you going to do today so that when that moment of career transition comes, it will get you ready? What are you going to do from today? Let us have responses. Let us have 32 responses or 31 responses. What are you going to do from today? So that, because those moments will come, that moment of career boredom will come. Toxic work environment, redundancy of skills will come, the issue of values will come. Get prepared, reskill, upskill. What are you going to do so that you are prepared? Ada said, find out what is valuable in the market in order to position myself strategically. Yes. Don't be in a dying industry. Don't do something that is not marketable. Look for more mentors, including Richie. Anytime, 24/7. No, correct. 24/7. Being intentional as opportunity meets prepared. I love that quote. You should patent it, Bridget. Being intentional as opportunity meets preparedness. You have to get prepared intentionally, though, not by accident. You do not prepare for career transition as if you are going to town to get 1,000 shillings kwa barabara. No. Sarah Njoki, how can we reach the facilitator for one-on-one? Just in case you want to talk to me, that is my number. What are you going to do? One of the things that you need to know about career transition is the role of confidence. I train people in public speaking, and one of the modules that I train people is confidence mindset. If you continue procrastinating in finding sources of your confidence, utakaa tu hapo tu, and opportunities will come and you will start lamenting, you will become resentful just because you refuse to develop. Confidence is not perfection. It's something that you need to know. Yes, over to you, Sheila. Over to you, Joan. Regina, say thank you so much. Okay, all right.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
How are you?
I am very well, sir.
Yes, my name is Pascal Kello,
yes,
and I'm a HR. I'm a HR officer. And I've heard you talk insightfully about personal branding.
Mm.
And the beginning of this year, I was having a certain idea about maybe forming a group of vibrant HRs around the country, or maybe the region that I am, that is in Northeastern, or maybe Central. So the group was to be a vibrant group where we get to discuss peer-to-peer, because I'm a young person. So we get to discuss peer-to-peer about the emerging trends in HR, and maybe we get to catch up with anything that is maybe affecting the corporate world at the moment, as they come or as they rise. And again, through the platform, maybe get to discuss maybe the cases, or maybe there has been, let's say, something has been tackled in court, and in one way or other it touches the corporate world. Now we get to come together, discuss it. Maybe one or two times we get to invite maybe a professional in the sector that we're going to discuss, and we get it handled. So my question was just actually, it's still an idea, and I don't know, like, how to go about it now. Is there any requirement that I need to do first before maybe getting it into move, or how should I go about it? Yeah, I think that's my question.
Thank you very much. You have the idea. You have the idea. That is the first thing. You have the idea, and I'm sure it has been nagging you for a long time. Don't wait to be perfect. What you do, go to WhatsApp, create a group, invite like-minded people. You do not have to be 20. You do not have to be 50. You need to be 2 or 3. Then you keep providing value to those people. Those people, when they are taking tea, when they meet Richard, when they meet Joanne, when they meet Njama, when they meet Sheila, when they meet Rhoda, they will be talking about what value Pascal is providing in his platform, on his platform. Then you grow it. But you must have a vision. You must have a vision for it. You must ask yourself, am I going to duplicate what is existing? What value proposition do I need to have for my group? What is it that is different from what Richard, from what Jay, from what Sheila, from what Joan is doing? Something different. You're not repeating the same thing. You have to search something that is different, something is unique. Then you start building your group slowly, and you look for people to assist you in developing that vision. I am telling you, you have the idea. What it needs you is to execute. And you will, within no time, you shall have built a group of so many people, so long as you're providing some value, not just a group for the sake of a group, something that is different, something that is unique, something that is focused. You will build it. Don't be in a hurry. There is no more microwave solution to creating a long-term group. It takes patience. Don't expect instant gratification. For example, there are people who write on LinkedIn and they expect to get 1,000 likes. No, sometimes you will stay there for 1 year and nobody reads, but people are checking your consistency, because to build a personal brand requires consistency. You do it. You're not doing it for the likes. You're doing it because you are focused what you want to talk about. Don't expect instant gratification. I mean, don't expect instant results. You have to build it for a long time. Start straight away. Don't start waiting for an ideal moment. Ideal moments do not come. That is what I can say. Go right forward and do it. Create a group, but so long as you write down what you want to do, what are the objectives, what is it that is unique you want to do, who is your target audience, because you cannot be everything to everybody. You have to create a niche. Yeah. That's what I can say. Sheila, Joan.
Thank you so much, Richard, for that.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, Richard. Is there any other question? Okay, if there is none, so thank you so much for joining tonight's session. We appreciate it. And just remember, immediately after the webinar, we'll be posting this recording on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go have a recap of what we have just talked about, or something that you've missed, just go to on our YouTube channels, JCVs, and you'll be able to get tonight's webinar there. So thank you so much. I think we can, is there any volunteer to close with, I'm seeing Regina's hand is up. Yes, Regina.
I had posted a question on the chat. Kindly.
Okay. Regina can just ask the question.
Yeah, I had posted a question on the chat. I'm just wondering from the points that our professor has shared with us today. I was wondering whether, what if the transition isn't like a personal decision, but it is something that has been influenced either by the management? How would you go about it? Should you be for the idea to transit or not?
The development is influenced by very many internal reasons or external reasons. So it is a question of assessing the merits of that career transition. Is it something that can be tested? Remember, I told you, you have to ask yourself, what are your value system? What are your strengths? Why are they telling you to transition? Does it have merit? So you have got to interrogate the suggestion. Sometimes we could be having skills or potential that we do not know we have, and Richard is able to see, or J. Pascal is able to see, or Joan is able to see, and you who is in that vessel, you cannot be able to see. So you have got to ask yourself, why has this person told me to transition? So there is no problem when the management gives you that view, the question is, what will you do with the information? Why is it them who are influencing your career growth or your career transition? So you have got to see the merit of that advice. Don't just do it. You have to ask yourself several questions. Don't do it blindly. You have to ask yourself, what is the reason behind the suggestion or the proposal? If you don't do it, you will jump into something that will frustrate you. Let me give you an example. Sometimes, let's say your dad or your mom is an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor, and they want you to become a lawyer. They want you to become a finance person. They want you to become what they are. But you want to become a chef. I have seen situations whereby somebody goes to university for 4 years and say, Mom, you wanted me to be a teacher. I have finished 4 years course. Now I want to do finance. I want to do law. People change. So you have got to ask yourself, what is the merit of the suggestion for you to transition? Don't just do it blindly. There is no problem in receiving information from other stakeholders because there are certain things that you will not be aware of. You could be having certain strengths. For example, I used to do dramatized verses and drama in high school. So when we came to nationals, the adjudicator was called Professor Wamberia Kidaka, something like that. Once we had finished that presentation, he called me, young man, wherever you go in this life, make sure you use that voice. You see, it is information that comes from where? From outside you. You are not aware that the gift you have or the passion you have will be productive elsewhere. You are not aware. So look at career transition in 360 degrees. Mm-hmm. And you have to do something that makes you happy. That is why I think we have the topic transitioning career, finding meaning. Don't just do things that because you are getting money, because of prestige. Do something that is sustainable. You can do. There are things like me, if a person told me to speak in the middle of the night, I'll just jump. How high do you want me to jump? Because I love it. Not as